You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Bold and the Beautiful fans. This week on B&B, many viewers were furious to see Eric sabotaging Taylor, and it wasn't even subtle. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we're going to talk about how Eric is clearly back on Team Brooke and the way he's doing both Taylor and Ridge dirty in favor of their mutual ex-wife. But before we get into that, please click subscribe if you're not already following us. Just this week, we saw Eric take a huge swipe at Taylor, even though her name actually didn't come up in the conversation. So while chatting with Brooke in the CEO office, Eric started asking Brooke about her feelings for Ridge. Now, why would he even get into that knowing that Ridge is with Taylor? They're living under Eric's roof together as a couple, so why? Talking to Brooke, we saw Eric say she can't forget Ridge because he's your person. That was what Eric said to her. He is your person. Statement of fact, basically saying, my son belongs with you, right? And then when Brooke was talking about how much she missed Ridge, she told Eric she wants Ridge to see something to know that they belong together, a reminder of what Brooke means to him. And guess what? Eric made that happen right away. He pulled up the photo of Brooke in her dress in Portofino and then basically kind of rubbed it in Ridge's face. And Eric promised to talk to Brooke more about this later, before Ridge had any idea that his dad had been talking to his ex. And then Eric said that Ridge overreacted, that's the word, when he broke up with Brooke over the whole CEO thing. And clearly, Eric's trying to remind Ridge that Brooke is his destiny and he needs to go back to her. And this isn't about Team Taylor or about Team Brooke. This is about him doing something he shouldn't be doing. So that's the source of the fan outrage. So this has Bold and the Beautiful fans ticked off because, you know, we all watch the episodes. Eric was just as furious as Ridge was when Hope and Carter stole Forrester Creations and Brooke took the CEO position. We all saw it. Eric didn't lodge a complaint at the time when Ridge broke up with Brooke, and Eric's been happy for Ridge and Taylor. So, you know, I can't disagree that Ridge is a total tool for dumping Brooke and immediately playing hide the salami with Taylor. That's very typical Ridge behavior. And you may even recall that Eric welcomed Taylor into his home and reiterated that to him, she is family. Now, all of a sudden, Eric is turning on Taylor and is pushing Ridge back at Brooke. And a ton of fans are really annoyed, not necessarily over, like I said, Brooke versus Taylor, but more just Eric butting in, rewriting very recent history, and actively encouraging someone to break up Taylor and Ridge's relationship. And of course, we all know Eric's always been Team Brooke, Team Logan, but it's more complicated now since Logan, aka Hope, helped Carter steal Forrester Creations. And yeah, Ridge and Eric both acknowledged that they now believe that Brooke took the CEO seat only to help them, and Steffi also, to get back in power. However, that's not the lingering issue that's the source of controversy at this point. The bottom line is nothing justifies Brooke enabling and excusing Hope's betrayal of the Forresters. Even when Brooke and Hope had their big blowout fight and Brooke told her, take accountability, well, Hope still hasn't done it until very recently and still not fully. This week, we saw a hint of it. When Carter came to the house to talk to her, Hope said she's starting to see that she shouldn't have agreed to the takeover. And Carter said he's glad to see Hope finally sees they were wrong. But she hasn't gone to Ridge or Eric and simply said, I was wrong, I'm sorry. That'd be a huge step, but she hasn't done it. Yet Brooke is still defending her. Even if she's criticizing her in private, she's still out there trying to make it seem like, you know, she is okay with this. And bottom line, even if Eric has changed his mind about what Brooke did during the coup, it's not up to him to interfere in Ridge's relationship. Out of nowhere, Eric's betraying Ridge's choice to be with Taylor, because it is Ridge's choice, no matter what. And let's be clear, Eric is blatantly disrespecting Taylor. On top of that, Eric's well aware that Taylor has broken heart syndrome, and that little death scare that happened really affected Ridge. It opened his eyes about Taylor and himself, and I think it put him in a mindset to be more open to her when Brooke did betray him. So at any rate, Eric's interference could actually put Taylor's health at risk if he gets Ridge to walk out on her and go back to Brooke. Seems like that would break her heart again. Now, a medical malady is not a reason to stay with someone, but Eric just shouldn't even be in this. What is his skin in the game? So there's a ton of really angry fan comments floating around Soap's social media. I'm going to read you a few reactions to what Eric is up to with Brooke behind Ridge's back. So on Twitter, a fan named Sam said about Eric, he's an ass. Eric will always be Team Brooke. Taylor did nothing wrong, but always supported him, and this is how he thanks her. Miss P tweeted, Eric has repeatedly told Taylor that she is family. He knows about her broken heart syndrome and sees how happy she is now, yet Eric goes behind her back to tell Brooke to fight for Ridge. Early G. Lewis said on X, Eric, you are so trash. You, more than anyone, was angry with Brooke. Now, all of a sudden, Ridge overreacted. Denelta7 tweeted, screw Eric and his stupid, sick obsession with his precious Brooke. That one's pretty extreme. And Di said on Twitter, I don't care what couple you ship. Eric's disrespect of Taylor will never not be disgusting, especially when she's never done anything but support him. He constantly downplays her feelings and encourages Ridge to leave her when she has done nothing wrong. There are hundreds, and at this point, maybe even thousands of comments like this on Soap's social media about what Eric is doing. And viewers may be even more outraged soon, because I don't think Eric's going to stop plotting with Brooke to break up Ridge and Taylor. I expect to see more of Eric pressuring Ridge to take Brooke back. You know, hopefully Eric won't outright and actively sabotage Ridge's relationship with Taylor. But whatever Eric does is not going to work, at least not for a while. Because in June, we've got Nick Maroney back. He shows up to see Brooke when she's feeling defeated and lost. This is direct from spoilers. Finally seeing that things with her and Ridge may be unfixable forever. Brooke and Nick are going to reignite, according to a recent interview, and it says Brooke gets a chance at a fresh start away from her past with Ridge. So if you're one of those people ticked off at Eric, you'll be happy to know that his scheming with Brooke fails.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.